Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. We are going to have an unboxing today of something that I've been after for quite some time, and it's just been really waiting along until we get the right opportunity really, and that opportunity has come along and we have now got one. So what we are going to do, we are going to set up this 30 by 30 by 30 Komodo. Now you guys, regular guys will know, I actually really like these, and one of the reasons I like these particular enclosures is because they are secure. Never had anything get out of one of these, so that's going to give you a little bit of a clue. We'll see now who's been paying attention and who's going to guess correctly what's going in here before we show it. Right, so what we're going to do, we've got some Beastie mix here, and it's mixed in with some potting compost as well. One of the things you'll see here as well, this is quite dry. That is on purpose. We want a relatively dry environment, and this will in turn actually dry out even more. At the moment you'll see it's very fluffy. You see, it's not sticking or anything, so it's very fluffy, but it can dry out even more and it won't be detrimental to what we're going to put in here. You'll see there we're going to add a reasonable amount of depth. I think that will probably do. Doesn't need to be over the top, so we'll get rid of that. What are you thinking so far? I wonder if anyone's guessed it right. Now what we're going to ask for now is we want somewhere that's going to give it some security, which this will. I'm going to put that in there. A little bit more soil just to cover that corner up. I'm sure that will end up being dug out in no time at all. We have got a plant here. Now this was a plant that we've actually pulled out of an old enclosure, and so this is being reused. Now one of the things we often get asked is, can we use materials from one enclosure to another enclosure? And I always say yes you can, because there's no point in throwing this perfectly good stuff away. You don't need to do anything with it, it's fine, it's just a plant. You know, it's not going to be that bad. So all I do is I just clean up anything around it, and you can see that's perfectly fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to think, what am I going to do? I think we're going to put it in the front actually. We don't normally put plants right in the front, but I think that's what we're going to do with this one. We're going to stick that in there like that. Now you would have seen there also that that plant was quite dry, and that's because these do like it reasonably dry. So we can just give this a little water every now and again, and that's going to be enough. So it's not going to affect the humidity within this enclosure. It's quite a dry, loving plant. Right, so we're going to have that in there. What else can we do? We've got some other wood here. I think we can put that in there. What we're looking for, we're just trying to create some structure here, create some hiding places. There you go. That definitely worked out better that way round, didn't it? A few other bits and pieces here. I don't know if we're going to need them, to be honest. We're going to put a little bit more soil in, just so we can level this area here. Now you see here, this is again, this is dry moss. Now if we were to soak this, there's a very good chance it will come back to life. It's really quite sturdy stuff. As you can see there, it's still in actual good order. And what we're going to do, we're going to stick a little bit of that in there. We're not really looking to get this moss to flourish or anything like that. We just want it to give an aesthetic look. So it's going to cover up in there. We've got an entrance here and an entrance here. And what we're going to do, we're going to stick our water bowl right in the front here. I think that's going to be okay like that. Perfect. There we go. I think that's gonna. I think that will probably do actually. We're going to leave it like that. Right, so that's our enclosure. So we're going to fill our water bowl up. It's important that we do this now because we probably aren't going to have much opportunity to do it once our inhabitant is in. Once it gets in and settles down, we'll be fine. But initially, I think this might be a little bit lively, and we're not going to have an awful lot of time to play around. Any guesses?
I know.
It's going to be interesting to see how many of you have guessed at this point without cheating. Right, so we're literally just going to wipe that so that we can see. Is that nice in there? Yeah, I think that looks lovely. Right then, shall we find out what it is? Move this over here. We're going to clear our desk. It's important that we have a nice clear desk for this, because should this all go wrong, then we're going to need to have a little bit of room. Right, what we got? This is our new arrival. It came in today. It lives in there. So what we're going to do, a regular catch cup is not going to be any good for this guy. So we're going to have a big catch cup, just in case. So we're going to leave that on the corner there. And we are going to come in. Nice to see that it's all nicely taped down. We don't want to be taking any chances. This is not something we want to see loose in the box when we open it up. Right, here we go. Now this is a Scolopendra gigantea, which is the white leg centipede, the giant white leg centipede of Peru. Now these come from, they actually extend quite a long way throughout South America, but Peru is one of the main places. Now, one of the things that's, one of the common misconceptions with centipedes is that they require humidity, because most people think of them coming in from South America, they're in the jungles, the Amazon and things like that, that it is a very, very humid place, which, yes, it is, but there's also huge grass areas all around South America, all throughout Peru and places like that, and this is where these guys come from. So they actually prefer a dry environment. Now, what we've done here is we built this up. She'll be able to get in here underneath the log, she can hide away, she can bury down into the substrate and do everything that she needs to do. So with the full vented top on this, it will dry out, especially with the warmth in this room. It will dry out, and it will give her the perfect environment. Now, these do have a very, very strong bite. It is not advised to handle these guys. They're not something you want to be playing with. Now I'm going to lift this up. You can come in and have a little look at her inside here, and hopefully she'll just sit still for us. So we're going to give it a go. They're very, very prone. They feel air temperature really, really well. You see her antenna gone straight away. She can feel the air temperature change. By the way, this is the best way to transport these guys, in a secure box with moss. And it makes for a much nicer way of moving them around. And as we can see there, she is quite a girthy thing. I say she, we don't know what sex this is. But she's a good solid looking centipede. Antennae are in fine condition by the look of it. One of the things we have to be careful with these is if they get too wet, they suffer from mycosis, which you can see as black tips to the antenna and also to their legs. She looks to be in really, really nice condition. You can see them huge mouth parts on her there. Absolutely enormous. They are very, very fast moving. And she can sense the air changes while we're talking above her, and also the vibration from our voices. Alright, there she goes. She is absolutely stunning. She's not fully grown yet. And we just don't want her taking off now. We try not to. We don't want to go in outside the box. See how she's feeling with those antennae? Checking everything out. There we go. Now you notice as soon as they're touched, they react straight away. So I think what we'll do is we're going to move her over now. And we're going to see if we can't get her into the enclosure without her coming straight back out again. As you can see, there's not a great deal of room to move around. So we'll try it this way now. What we're hoping for, what we would like, is for her to just walk out on her own. Because if we touch her, she will react. Typical, she's going uphill. Let me turn the box round. There we go. Are you going to come out the box? Here we go. No, she says I'd rather stay in it. Okay. Just take our time. She will leave eventually. Right. One of the reasons this is because it's uphill. So we're going to lay it flat. See how we just change our way of what we're doing. I'm going to take the lid off and hope she behaves herself. As you can see, so far she's been very, very calm. Alright, we're going to touch her now and we're just going to see what kind of response we get. If we touch her here, she will react towards the paintbrush. So we want her to go in this direction, down by the water bowl. So we're going to touch her here. See how she changed? There we go, she's in. So as you can see there, she's on the move. She's going to check everything out now. Now, one of the things you'll often find with centipedes is people often say that you need the same distance from the floor of the enclosure to the top to be higher than the actual length of your centipede. And this is because they don't climb glass very well. But if you're careful, there's no reason why you can't physically move her back in. They're not as bad as you would first imagine. Although, as you can see there, you can see the jaws on her, very, very large and very, very powerful. These guys in the wild are quite capable of taking on small lizards, even small birds up to the size of maybe a finch or so. So they are very, very strong predators. You see she's grooming herself a little bit there. Now this girl isn't fully grown. These can get over 12 inches long. So she's got a fair way to go yet. And as we were saying earlier on, we're going to keep her in a nice dry environment. And this will benefit her no end. She will actually come up. And then hopefully, I wouldn't mind suggesting that at the moment, she's quite dulling in her colouring. Normally their legs get a lovely white as they mature, so she's got a little bit more growing to do yet, and then them legs should turn really, really white and nice. And with her colouring at the moment, I'd suggest that she's possibly coming up to slough. So we will see. We're going to give her we'll give her a few days now and let her settle down. She'll probably dig down and disappear for a little while, and then hopefully she'll come out when she's hungry, and that is when we will feed her, and we will try her then. Don't be in too much of a hurry to get food in there straight away. It's important that you let your beasties calm down, let them settle in. Then once they're settled, they will more in time sort of like want to feed. If you do it as they're fresh in there, quite often or not, the roach running around will just constantly disturb them. It won't allow them to settle, and then this causes them stress, which then adds further problems along the line. So do them a favour, just give them a little bit of an opportunity. You can see there now, she sat there and she's actually cleaning. So she's really, really happy.
We got lots of that already.
Nice and settled. But you can see how she's cleaning her antennas. So as we've seen there, we saw no aggression from this girl. Now these are renowned for being a real handful. But as you can see there, she's actually gone in nice and gently, and she's now cleaning herself. This is always a good sign. A really good sign. I'm well pleased with that. Right. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll put the lid on, because she's done very, very well. So I'm going to just slip that on there like so. Like I say, these are really, really nice secure enclosures for centipedes. They're absolutely ideal. Well, that is our giant white leg. Now, what we will do, once we're all settled down, and I think we will wait for her to slough out, and then we will sex her. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can sex centipedes, but my favourite way is to actually knock them out, and by that we literally deprive them of oxygen with CO2, and that puts them to sleep long enough for us to be able to sex them, and then we can wake them up again, and it's not harmful to them in any way. It's very, very non-invasive. So it's the best and most safest way of doing it. And when we do that, it may be a few months yet, But when we do that, we will film it and show you how we do it, and the outcome. We'll find out whether we've got a male or a female, because I do have a friend or two that have a couple of these as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future we can maybe see about breeding these guys and get some nice captive bred ones, because unfortunately a very large amount of these are wild caught. So if we can get captive bred ones in the market, that would be a brilliant thing to achieve. Right then, well, that is something we've been waiting for a very long time. One other thing I'd just like to mention, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all of our subscribers throughout the world, everywhere. As you would have seen, we have hit over 50,000 subscribers, and that is all down to you guys. So thank you very, very much. We really, really do appreciate your support, and we're so glad you're enjoying the content, and we will endeavour to keep it coming. Right. Don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. I'll see you soon, guys.